Okay, so the chat is on. I think you can drop the chats there.
Hi, Frank. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Today it seems like the feedback has disappeared. Oh, I can hear it. I can hear it actually.
Yeah, the feedback has disappeared because we are now using the sound card.
I can still hear myself. So, I mean, but it's fine. We only need to please mute when I'm speaking. So we just want to hear you. Thanks for muting, please. I know most people. We are not going to have any panelists talking from our end. So people are going to speak from the event. However, it will be important for someone to be able to. Yeah. So yeah, Angela, I think the echo has gone now that I'm speaking, but when both of us are on mic, there's a bit of an echo, which is a concern. But what I'm saying is that we are likely not to have a situation whereby someone is speaking online. But I think it's something we need to cancel. Then we want to hear from you. Angela, do you have something to say? I think you've been made a panelist. We should be able to hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Angela, I can hear you very well.
Okay. My only question would be the position of the camera, because now we are seeing the side of the stage. So is this how it's going to be? And are this they availed the two rooms that we're using? Or will you keep rotating the camera?
So where should it be facing? Because I think what Gerald and Frank did probably just pointed it to some convenient place, but I think we need to say who is the most important person that we need to zoom on. Then the other camera should face the other side, because I think we have two cameras. Is that right, Frank?
So I would say if we have two cameras, then we need to have one that is focused on the panelists, because that's where the most value would come in for the people who are watching or who are hybrid, as opposed to looking at the audience.
Sure.
Sorry, George. Okay,
Frank,
so
did you hear what Angela said?
can you come back, please? I mean, come again. with the question.
So Angela is saying, we assume that you're having to please mute. Yeah, you need to work on that feedback. It's quite noisy. So what we are saying is we need to have two. We need to have. I think we have two cameras. One camera should focus on the panelists because that is the most important place. So where are we going to have the panelists? Maybe just walk there. Just walk to the panelist section. Thank you. So we need to have a camera that is pointing at you, probably from front. Then the other camera would be, because you know that camera is looking at you from the sideways, which is not good. In fact, it's best for this guy in a jacket where the bag is. That's the best need for that camera. So if we had another camera from that exit door where I can see someone at the extreme end, zooming out to the panelist, that would be the best position. So we need the panelist. That would be the most important part because that's where we are going to have the main guys talking. Then this other camera that we are showing us now should be looking at the general audience because we don't need the general audience as much, but just go to show them. So that is one. Two, you need to work on that sound for that feedback. I know you can't fix it now. It's not looking good. But that's something we need to look at on that sound card. But yeah, that's what exactly Angela was talking about, the camera. Now I can mute myself when you speak because both of us can't speak at the same time.
Okay, so regarding the cameras, I think for now we have just used one because
Just talk, Frank.
yeah, so for now we're using one camera, and the reason is we can't integrate the second camera to the system at the moment because we'll need a hub like the one we have at the Omega boardroom at the ceiling. So for now, we will only make do with a single camera. So we'll try to position it at the front so that it, or somewhere a little bit so that it can focus clearly on the podium and part of the audience. And then maybe it be controlled from time and again as to where the focus will need to be. So for now, it's one camera. And then the issue of sound, I think we can try. We are just falling short of some extra cables which we'll have used to tap directly for the speakers, because we needed to pass the speakers signal through the sound card, but we didn't have enough cables to do so. So that's the reason why you can hear the feedback still, but it's something manageable maybe on our next test.
Frank, I don't know if you can hear me. When do you plan on doing the next testing? Because the event is next week. So we need to be cautious. Time is not on our side.
Yes, I think we'll need another test. Maybe George can suggest to us which day or what time maybe we can have like an afternoon prior to the day of the event.
So Frank, what we're asking, what exactly do you want? Please mute. What we need is, tell us, I need 1, 2, 3, 4 from whom? Once you know what you want, and then whoever should be providing it, then we can say, I want something from Angela, I want this from George, I want this from the hotel, So that, because you're talking about a cable, who is supposed to provide that cable? Then we agreed this is what we want. The next test should be maybe tomorrow, even if it's at midnight, but you have to get it right. We cannot go to the D-Day without getting everything right. So what exactly do we want? Who should provide it and by when?
What we are missing or we are falling short as far as the cables are concerned is jack to jack, that is 3.5. We need like 2 of them, and I think it should come from IT. Maybe we should we should purchase them maybe as early as tomorrow morning.
Bowmans.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. If we need to get that, are they locally available in town? If they're locally available, let's purchase them and make them available so that from where you are, because it's the same you're going to purchase them. I'm happy to provide them as soon as tomorrow, so that when you go back, you come from that place with a date that you're going back. So we can say, especially now that you guys you seem to be starting by 8 or 8 something. We say tomorrow or tomorrow but 1, you are back there at 9 p.m. So we are ready that we're going to have a night test and do whatever you need to do. Then tomorrow you reposition that camera where you are saying, so that we are able to display that. Then finally, I don't know if anyone in online is able to hear what I'm saying. Actually, Kevin is proposing, can you use a different mic? Because there's a bit of static noise from that mic. Is there only one microphone? Because last week that noise wasn't there.
So for now, we are only using the podium mic. Other mics are off because we have used their cables to do the connection. So right now we're using only one mic. And because of the issues with the cables, that's why the other mics are off at the moment.
Because it seems like we are moving backwards. Last week we didn't have that noise. The sound was perfect. The camera was okay. But today you are having a lot of noise, and you are having I can't seem to. It's not as clear as the test you guys had last week. Then is this the device we are going to use, or we are going to have a different device? Is it the room we are going to use permanently going forward?
By device, you mean which one specifically?
Those electronics.
Yes, we are using. We are sticking with what we have available here, and for the clarity of the sound, maybe as I said before, we will need to have those extra cables so that we pass all the sound through the sound card, and by that way it will be clearer to the audience. I mean, to the listeners or whatever, the virtual attendees. Because for now, I think we are using analog outputs, which we have plugged into our system, which I'm sure are the ones which are giving those issues of sound distortion, sorry.
Maybe finally, my final comment is: can you walk back to the back of the room, just talking, saying anything, and let's see how it's going to be like. Frank, we can't hear you at all. Are you talking?
I was on mute all that long. So what I was saying, I'm at the back of the conference room. I'm standing here at the back of the conference room, and the panelist side is right there on the other side, though it's not facing. The camera location is somehow on the side, so we will have to readjust the location of the camera so that we can focus as way of priority on the panelists, and then maybe the camera can be rotated to the audience at any given time.
I hope Gerald is reading our chat, so he can tell you what we are saying.
Yeah, I can see the chat also. I see you saying okay there. Can you check the chat there by Angela on the issue of projector? So I think it's subject to the setup, because right now I think we are not very sure of how the setup will be on the material day, but for now we have just put it just in front of the two screens.
Thanks, Frank, but I think it would be important to tell us where the best positioning would be, because that is quite critical, and then we can work around that. Because it's even if the room is in that classroom style, or if you're going to use round tables, the projector still has to be positioned somewhere, so we need to be cognizant of that fact.
So what Angela is saying that you need to decide where you're going to put the projector.
So right where I'm standing is where the projector is, just in, just before the panelists on the right and on the left, because we are using two projectors. So I think that's the best position for now that we can advise to have our projectors.
And are we going to have a setup like what we're seeing currently?
We hadn't finalized on that because we were still trying to see the final numbers. But I feel now at this point we need to finalize this, so we can schedule a call with Gabriel and just finalize on the same based on the numbers that we have. My other question would be, there's no place at the back of the room that the projector can be hung?
That roof is usually very high.
Oh, okay. But I'm just like, it's quite cumbersome. Smack in the middle of the room.
It does look good, but again, the ideal place will be having it hung on the ceiling. Sadly, the ceiling of that roof is like, I think, 50 meters above the sea level. So, Gerald, what else do you want us to see? I think the chat option is working. I think we need to put Q&A. Probably we can make someone as a panelist. That is the easier bit. But what we need to set properly is that Please mute. Please mute. So what we need to set properly is the camera, and once the camera is right, then we need to sort out that sound. At least the range for that mic is quite good. You are able to speak from the back, meaning the Q&A session is taken care of. I can see the mic, the camera can rotate properly, which is perfect. So it doesn't matter where it is, you can just rotate it to capture a different range, which is beautiful. I hope the sound within the room is good. So that should be it. Then also try if we can use more than one mic and confirm that there are no feedbacks. Because I saw another microphone on the table. You would have both of them on and just see how it's going to work.
Yes, so for the sound here on the room coming from the virtual attendees is, I think, very, very clear. I think clearer than before. And we're expecting the same to be when we have all those cables in place. And then for the mics and feedback, I think that should not be an issue. Once we have them together, I mean, once we have the mics on, I think that one can easily be balanced, as has been the case before. And then maybe Angela can advise us how many mics may be required. Maybe that one can be estimated based on the number of round tables that we're expecting to have, so that at least we may have an idea.
Frank, I think for now we can estimate we'll have about 60 to 70 packs in the room on the Friday. And on Thursday, we'll have about 30 packs, but Thursday we're not streaming because that's a closed session. So I think we can work with that further to final confirmation.
Okay, so if it's 60 packs, that would mean maybe a round table should contain, I mean, should accommodate like how many?
You can work with 8.
Oh, okay, so
I would suggest maybe having about 4 mics on 2 on either side of the room that can be used like on the left side, on the right side, because then they can be passed around. But it won't make sense to have 2 mics and you're trying to pass the mic to someone who wants to ask a question who's on the left side of the room.
So can we have like, how many panelists are we having, Angie? At single time?
About 4.
So do you
But
prefer lapels, or we just give them the handles?
Sorry, George. I would assume the panelists' mics will be different from what will be used by the audience.
Correct. And do you think we need to give them lapels, or we just give them handles or goosenecks? Okay, I know the hotel preferred to have handheld instead of goosenecks, instead of lapels.
We are being advised here that handhelds will clash a lot with the handheld. I mean, lapels will clash with handheld, so we'll have to stick with handheld all throughout.
Okay.
And
so then we have 4 handles already in front, and then we can have 4 behind. So that's 8, or we have 2 behind, that's 6. So that should be okay.
On the mics, we will be offered 2 free, which can be for the panelists, and then maybe the 6 extra will be paid for. So I think on the day of testing, or I think our second and final test, we should at least have all the mics around so that we test everything and make sure we eliminate any feedback possibilities. So I think that's what I'll suggest to Angela to organize that. We may have.
That's fine. We'll take care of that. So what you need to do, those 2 mics that we are getting free for the test, we need to have them always in that boardroom so that we have that. Then the other 6 or the other 4, or is it 4 or 6, whatever the number is, can be availed on the D-Day, or I mean, no, at least a day too, so that we test. So I think Angela can deal with that in the back end in terms of number and the costing, which should be fine. So long as we book them, because I don't know, we don't know whether they are always available. But so long as we can get them on demand, then we just notify them that, oh, we need 6 microphones, give us 2 always, so that we test the panelists in front and the Q&A in the back. Then hizo 4 can be shared at least the day we are doing the actual setup. Frank?
Sorry, George, I think I didn't get you on that. I was asking Devin to confirm if he has all the mics, and I think he has confirmed he has the 6 extra mics, which will be available to us on the day of testing. So maybe you can repeat on your last question, please.
Yeah, then we can just test them. We can just use them for testing. Even we have 3 or 4, then because basically what he's saying is that if you need more, you pay. So we can let's just have the mics available during the test periods. We confirm it's working and we're happy. Then they just bill us. We can write an email to the effect so that everyone is covered. Is that okay? Excellent. So you just itemize microphone 6, 500 or whatever it is. Bandwidth this much, whatever it is this much. Then we just Angela will be happy to reconcile those numbers. Is that okay, Angie?
Yeah, they just need to give us a detailed breakdown. Then we can add it onto the budget.
Yeah, because even if 2 mics, even if we say 6 are not enough, we will demand for another 2 or 3 on the D-Day. I mean, so I'm sure they should be able to provide that additional mic. I don't think we can need so many, but we just need to book that in
just
advance.
the only thing I would just say is we need to make sure, which I'll confirm with the team tomorrow, but all panelists should have mics. Let's not have that cumbersome of them sharing questions, because it's an interactive, engaging session. So we don't want to have that lapse of a mic being passed at the panelists.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay. What else, Angela, do you see on the hall that you want to comment on prior to the next test?
No, I think I'm good on my end. We've covered everything. It's just the sound is what I'm a bit concerned about, and how soon we can get that sorted. And I'll also confirm with Gabriel how soon we can get the room on Thursday, because then probably that would mean you guys would need to start set up Thursday early morning, because the conference on Friday starts pretty early, so we might not have the time to do this setup again. So everything should be good to go by Thursday morning.
I agree with you. Apparently, I hear you so clearly, and I don't know that you are hearing me clearly, but when Frank starts to speak, it is just disaster.
Yeah, that's correct.
So Frank, we need to confirm when we are going to have the room. But Frank, even before we drop off, can you please confirm what specifically you want from the IT team of the hotel? I can see the IT team behind there, and I appreciate their presence for this test. We apologize, we have to keep people late in the night for our test. But can you tell us specifically what you want from the IT team of the hotel? Forget about things that are supposed to be what?
So from the hotel, What we only need is the LAN, I think, which you already discussed, and of course the PA system, which is what we are using now. And also to Angela, maybe has she confirmed the rooms that will be used for the event, so that at least we may know how to position ourselves from here.
Sorry, Frank, I thought you were using the rooms that we are using for the conference. That's what we had agreed.
We're using 2-3 now. I hope that's what you already booked.
Yes, and I would based on where the IT guy, I can't remember his name, sorry, is sat is the last one on the end, not the side of the entrance, because they're the two. But I guess we can, well, I'll confirm that with Gabriel. Then you'd also mentioned that there were no power outlets. You needed extension cables. Has that been sorted? And finally, maybe one more question. I don't know that you had looked at it, is in terms of the projector, can we use their projector? Can it integrate into our system, or it's not possible?
We're actually using their projector.
Oh, okay.
Mm. Frank, another question I had for you. Why is it taking so long to do the initial setup? Because I remember you guys were there by 5:30 and you were ready for us by 8. That was like 2 hours. Is that normal?
Apologies for that. So the issue was the shortage of cables, I think, which we had not foreseen. So we were trying to maximize the use of the ones which are available, and now we had to completely change the way of setup. And I think that's why we had to do a lot of tests before we went live.
But you still say you need nothing completely from the technical team there. I thought you need something, Frank. Are you sure you don't need anything?
I think whatever they're offering is, because they can't, of course, offer extra cables. Of course, their PS system is as is, and we have to integrate ourselves into it. But now ours will demand that we have those extra cables, which I've just mentioned.
Oh, okay. Those IT people, they can't even be generous to us.
Let Gerard give his input, maybe.
Hello. Now, on the why again we took so much time to just run the setup. The other time we were connecting the audio and the microphone directly to the device, but today, so last time it had some feedback, like the speakers in the room had some feedback just from the far end. So what we needed was the sound card. So we introduced another device, the sound card, which we had at the office. So just integrating the two, the PA system and the sound card we have, took a little bit of time because we had to get cables. I think we forgot one of the cables at the office, so we had to get one from these guys who went to look for it at their equipment room. And again, just running the test, making sure the microphone can actually integrate and all that. So where we are right now is just to get those two cables, plug in to the system, and we should be good to go.
So Gerald, sorry, so which method are we going to use on the day? What you've done today or what you had done previously?
What we've done today.
Okay, I think that's fine. We are improving it day by day. So I think get whatever you need to get, list whatever we need to use so that we don't have issues of I forgot with something in the office. I don't know what. I mean, so that we're just if you think you're going to forget with it, just leave it there with the IT team there. They will take care of it. So I think it's good so far. We just need to address that feedback. Gerald sounds different when he's speaking on that mic through that microphone. It sounds like a panelist, but it's fine. It's fine. So Anja, I think we can leave it at that, and we see when we are going to do the next test, probably before end of the week, if it's possible, or by Monday, so that we just say we are good, we are happy, and we are sure it's clear what we are going to test: microphone feedback and the positioning of the camera and the projection.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Yeah, we haven't talked about the internet connection. Angela, we had made a request that we use a dedicated link. Any update on that?
No, Gerald, let's discuss that separately. I'm not seeing the motivation for that, because it's traffic going out. I'm yet to be convinced that we need additional bandwidth. Because just transmitting something out there.
Okay. From the outside, can you see the picture clearly? When I move my hand, can you see it moving? Like, those are maybe the things could, like right now, is it like buffering a little bit or just okay?
No, that link is pretty good.
Okay. Then I think it's okay, it will work.
I think for that feedback, we should get it from the people who are on YouTube. Because I'm on the Zoom link.
And it's pretty okay.
Yeah, so the guys on YouTube could tell us. Maybe you can check your WhatsApp chats.
Kevin was on YouTube, but I think he has left. Anyway, so I think we can leave it at that, guys. Gerald and Frank, Paul and Sana, you guys have to get home late, but unfortunately, you have to be in the office tomorrow by 8:30. So, good night.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.